Well, it's another day and it's another Starfield controversy gone awry because apparently you can go to a clinic in-game and change who you are. So apparently people are putting out guides on how to change your pronouns in Starfield. This is a thing now because of the controversy over pronouns in Starfield. How ridiculous is this going? You know, this is on the heels of the Nexus Mods forum site, or the Mods forum site, pretty much labeling it out for you that they're not going to remove the pronoun feature of the character creation in the game. And all honesty, who cares? Who cares? Like, if you want to change your pronouns in a video game, does it really matter? Why are they there in the first place? I don't even know what I'm supposed to be saying here. Why do we have this as an even option in a video game in the first place? It doesn't change the dialogue, even though back in 2021, when Todd Howard did an interview on Reddit, apparently it would have, but it doesn't change anything in the game. The game's choices are arbitrary at best when you just pick the top thing over and over again. And if you go into the character creation clinic now in the game, you can now change anything about your character, including their pronouns, at a cost of 500 credits. This is absurdity. Like, this is the world we live in now, is how to turn around and go through your funky space opera and be like, I'm going to go change my pronouns because that's what I want to do in a video game. No. Apparently shooting spaceships, exploring the universe, doing all these things in there. No, apparently going to an in-game clinic and changing who you are is the #1 priority for these user guides. So this all starts back from a now locked thread on Steam where Nexus Mods announced to ban pronoun removal mods. We won. So the person is sitting there gloating about this as if it's a big win, as if having these arbitrary things in a video game, not being able to get rid of them through a mod, as if it's made a big deal. No one cares that they're there in the first place. No one really cares if they weren't there in the first place. The only thing is if they weren't there in the first place, then this controversy doesn't happen, then none of this dialogue even goes throughout. But now it comes down to the neo-political sphere of, why are they in there now? Why can't we even go out there and get them removed via a mod? If we had it such a way, if they were not such a big deal, then why can't someone go out there and say, hey, I just want to remove this one tiny little detail that I don't like in the video game? You know, this is back in the days where, you know, the video games, you just play it for what they are. And honestly, if I was to play Starfield, which I'm not, if I was to play Starfield right now, from everything I've seen, to me, it's got its bugs. It's got its worst tellings of how Todd Howard has gone on record saying, we've optimized this for PC. It's your equipment sucks. You need to step up and upgrade your computer in order to play our game. No, I believe that was similar to what was said for Skyrim back when it was announced, or back when it came out a long time ago, if I remember correctly. Like, we're talking years ago. You know, when computer parts, when you sat there and you looked at a game and got, I don't know if I can play this because my computer might not be able to handle it. Now, with the video cards that we have, with the 3000 series, the 4000 series, we have seen a plethora of video games that come out that are unoptimized, that are just on how the frame rate will drop you in a dime, how you will crash out of the games constantly. And that's only a touch of the cake. That's only the tiniest little thing. Now, this, of course, got brought up in Nexus Mods the next day, where now they're saying trolls are spreading disinformation about the Nexus. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you do get a min posting, the webmaster posting, say, our policy on this sort of content is laid out in this news post, and they are referring back to the flag, the pride flag that was removed from the Spider-Man 2 video game back a long time ago. Someone went out and replaced it with American flags or whatever flags that they wanted, and they turned around and banned the texture of being able to replace the flags in a video game. I remember long time ago, like we're going long time ago, Doom, where if you have a little bit of know-how on where the pictures go in these games, if you know how to navigate these things, you can change up any detail you want, any detail in the background. And when these flags got changed to something more American-like instead of the trend of the day sort of flag, and then it became a signal for the mod system to sit there and go, no, we're no longer going to allow this on our modding sites. Well, honestly, right now, Nexus Mods or Vortex is probably one of the easier assets to do, and now that control is seemingly being controlled. You're not allowed to mod games the way you want, and that is the bigger question here now. Now, if you want to take something out of a game, you're not allowed to do it under their system, and you have to turn around and go to a different system. You have to go to like CurseForge. There's not a whole bunch of different modding sites out there. There are a very limited few, and when it comes to the modding community of video games in particular, there's not a lot of people that do it. We're talking tens of thousands of people at this point. We're not talking the millions of players. Recently, like today, Starfield announced that they have 6 million people playing the game from the Xbox to the PC version. And the modding community is to the point where they've actually, they're allowing a version of PC users to make them think that they're playing on the PS5, just to say, listen, that's the way it is. But then there's also other ones out there where they have a Pride collection being introduced into Starfield as well. So if this is allowed and you're not allowed to remove one tiny little detail that doesn't matter to the gameplay, doesn't matter to the game, and only matters to those that want it to matter to, now you have to have it there. Like, the mods that people come out with are so arbitrary and useless. This one in particular bans a cape, and it literally says, removed the useless, ugly cape from all versions of the Starborn suit. It's a cape that doesn't mean anything to your character, doesn't mean anything to the game, doesn't mean anything other than a detail that no one wants to have in there. So now you have to ask, what's the big deal? What is the big deal if someone wants to mod out that little less than arbitrary thing, especially when the modding community is very little to begin with in this game? Yeah, there's a lot of people that will add mods, will add the optimization for the game so it plays a lot better, so it actually is optimized for PC instead of a CEO or a developer saying you need to upgrade your PC. Now you can take out this one little tiny detail. And that's all people want to do. They just want to take out the one little tiny detail that doesn't mean anything to anyone else except for those that really think it matters. This is why people are getting sick and tired of stuff like this. Because you're being forced fed it. You are being spoon fed it. You have to swallow it, and you have to swallow it with the mouth gaping wide open. That's not freedom of choice. That's where you have to actually just live with the details. And not everyone wants to live with the details. A lot of people don't like paying the $2 it takes to ride the bus. So they sit there and they go another route.
Time to take your meds. You're taking your meds, Yi, one way or another.
And of course, you know, because of all of these talks, because it's come to the limelight, because modders don't want to sit there and actually make a game what people want to play in the first place. There's certain nations like the United Arab Emirates who, honestly, I don't care about these guys because a lot of what they value is not the same for a lot of the values that a lot of people see. But they are banning Spider-Man 2 and Starfield, mostly because of the way these little things go off. The inclusion of same-sex relations in the video games. Because they are including this. Because they have the inclusive diversity quotas that they have to meet for these video games. They're starting to get banned elsewhere. And there's warnings that are coming on these games, like in Australia and the UK. They're saying, no, no, no. You're going to put this in there. We're going to put warnings on it. Because it's not the type of thing that people want to see in their video games, especially on something that's such a big blockbuster like this, where the people just want to play a game that's good. And, you know, this is like most Bethesda's titles. It seems to be a buggy mess. The characters seem to be dead inside, and I gotta say, once things were modded in Skyrim, it's a whole new different world. But now if the mods are saying, no, you can't do these mods because we want you to play the game the way that it was meant to be played? Really? Really? Anyway, I'm your Product Canadian Phoenix. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.